Hey everybody, welcome to the Mortgage Mastery Mashup Sales Training. See, the thing is, I'm a nerd, so I consume a lot of great content and I love sharing it with you. Over the past couple of weeks, I've listened to several excellent training seminars that kind of tied into each other in some intriguing ways. If you give me a little more time, I'll share the best parts with you, then add in a couple of thoughts of my own to tie it all together. Does that sound cool? All right, here we go. You go into dreamland with them. That's a pretty high level of trust. And dreamland is one hell of a good place to take a prospect if you want to turn them into a client and a friend. I really like that angle of bringing the conversation of net worth into it. Reframing conversations is such a critical skill when you're trying to influence people, whether it's influencing your clients, your referral partners, your kids, your spouse, or even trying to get out of a traffic ticket. It's all about influence. And you want to influence your clients to think about the increase in net worth, not the increase in their monthly payment. No matter how many times you post that stupid, when you rent, you pay 100% interest meme on Facebook, people aren't going to get it until you explain it to them. You have to earn their trust, then explain it to them. There are tons of tools you can use. Mortgage Coach teaches on their TCA or total cost analysis. MBS Highway has their buy versus rent tool. And I wanted to create something different for our people, so I built my own. Here's what it looks like. The purpose of this tool is to give our clients a quick way to wrap their brain around the profit potential from owning real estate. So a lot of people that have never owned a home don't realize the kind of money you can make from appreciation on it. So I wanted to drop a quick spreadsheet that can show people and spell it out in very simple terms exactly what the potential is. So we're going to start at the very top here and say, what is the purchase price of the home you're buying? So let's say we're starting out with a $400,000 house. So purchase price is $400,000. How much are you putting down as a down payment in terms of a percentage? So let's say it's 5%, which is $20,000 of your money. That's the second thing that we really want to illustrate as part of this exercise is the return on their money. Their money. That's what people on Wall Street, people in the investment world really want to pay attention to is how much am I making on my money? Now let's add in the closing cost. Let's say there's another closing cost of $5,000, which means that your total cash investment is $25,000. So with 5% down and $5,000 worth of closing costs, the seller is not paying anything in this instance. The borrower is coming in with $25,000 of their money. So let's look at the appreciation. So let's do some estimates here. So we're going to go to the next 6 years. Let's say that next year the home goes up at 8%. After that, it comes down to 5% the following year. Say it goes 6% the following, back up to 7, 8, 9. So some fairly reasonable predictions on home price appreciation. Actually, let's even get one more aggressive. Let's say nothing in that third year. So 8% the first year, 5% the next year, nothing the next. Year 4 would be 7%. Let's actually bring that down to 5%. Then we'll go 7% and 9% in year 6, which means that your $400,000 home would be worth $432,000 at the end of year 1, $453,600 at the end of year 2, still $453,600 at the end of year 3, $476,280 at the end of year 4, $509,619 at the end of year 5. You get the gist here. That means in year 1, you'd make a profit of $32,000 on your $25,000 investment. So you invested $25,000 and returned $32,000. At the end of year 2, you will have made $53,600 on your $25,000 investment. At the end of year 3, again, $53,600 at the end of the $25,000 investment. So that's the big thing is we're talking about this $25,000 investment. Yes, some of you are going to go, well, yeah, but you have to make payments, but you would have had to make rent. So either way, you're making a payment on your living situation. So we're just going to kind of wash those out. This isn't an exact measure. It's to give the illustration of a couple of key points that we're going to get into this next section. So in the purple section, keep in mind that you did not invest $400,000 of your money into the purchase of this home. Let's read that again. You did not invest $400,000 of your money into the purchase of this home. Your real cash investment is a total of $25,000. So even though you get the full benefit of value going up, your initial investment doesn't change. So you actually make a 28% return of your money in the first year. So you actually make a 28% rate of return on your money in the first year. So this is the big thing that we need to get people thinking about is the smartest, the wealthiest, the richest, the best investors in the world pay attention to rate of return. They pay attention to rate of return and net worth. So they actually make a 28% rate of return in the first year because they invested $25,000. The house went up $32,000, so 28% rate of return. After the end of the second year, you will have made a 57.2% per year rate of return. By the end of the third year, you will have made a 38.1% per year rate of return on your money. So as you can see, at the end of that sixth year, you will have made 82% return per year on your $25,000. If you talk to a hedge fund manager on Wall Street that said that you had an opportunity to show them something that would make an 80% rate of return, they would give you all of the money in the world. The largest Ponzi scheme in recent history was Bernie Madoff, who made billions of dollars, wasted billions of dollars by promising a 10% per year rate of return, which is ungodly. So let's look at how this compares. So we talk about what is the S&P 500 index. So the average annualized rate of return since adopting 500 stocks in the index in 1957 through the end of 2021 was 11.88%. So making 87% or anywhere near that is an astounding rate of return. Of course, this does not factor in the cost of selling it because we just have too much troubles estimating that. How much is it? Sometimes you get a listing agent to sell it for 1 point. If they get the other 3, they'll do it for 4 total. They'll do it for 3 total. Hell, you might not even sell it. You might keep it. It might be 15 years down the road before you do it. There's just so many variables. This is not a precise calculation, but let's say it pans out to only 60% per year. You're still doing astounding. So it also shows you the different effects that this rate of return can have by doing smart things in order to help your client. So instead of buying this house for $400,000, let's buy it for $400 and even let the seller do a little bit of extra. Buy it for $406,000 and they pay $5,000 worth of closing costs. So that means that $25,000 investment goes down to $20,300. Their rate of return in the first year is now 60%, second year is 84%, and then third year is 56% per year. Heck, people don't want to do, the interest rate is so high on a zero down loan. Those DPA rates are so high. Okay, let's validate that. Got a $410,000, say we buy that $400,000 house for $410,000. So our offer looks a little more attractive. We're going to do zero down and the seller's going to pay for those closing costs. Your cash investment is $0. Actually, we got to put in a number just so we can do a rate here. So they messed up the HUD. You have to bring in $1. You're buying this $400,000 house for $1. You actually make a 3.2 million % rate of return on your money that first year. So you can definitely see the power. This is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous number. It's a ridiculous estimation, but it shows the power of owning a home. So the question shouldn't be, is it smart to buy a house with interest rates where they are and what's going on? The question is, how many can I buy? Okay, let's bring it all together. First, Brian Stevens showed us that people don't know jack about home buying, but they want to buy. Second, Carl White taught us the key is that you have to make more offers. You have to. You just have to. You have to. But yeah, you're going to get some no's with that. You just have to live with that. Then Phil Jones taught us that you have to earn the right to give a recommendation. You have to earn the right before you sell. You do that by using empathy and curiosity to have them state 3 reasons they want to buy now. But you are going to have sticker shock over the price change. So you have to be ready to explain to them how debt ratios work, that if they do buy at this because of debt ratios, they can probably still afford to live, and then bring them to dreamland by anchoring their mind on the increase in net worth. You can do it. But let's leave you with one last thought from the mighty Carl White.
But Barry, I have to tell you, yes, we do. But I have to tell you, it goes back to how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? So look, somebody told me the other day, and maybe this is a famous saying. I heard it for the first time about a month ago. He said, Carl, you have to pick your hard. So is getting up at 5:30 in the morning hard? Yeah. Is struggling to make my own mortgage payment hard? Yeah. Is telling my kids, hey, I can't afford college, so you're gonna have to go do a student loan. Is that hard? Yeah. So pick your hard. Like pick your hard. And for me, I'll pick the hard of making phone calls and closing a bunch of loans rather than, explain to my wife why she can't buy this new pair of red bottom shoes she was looking at last night, right? So pick your hard.